Alrighty. What is good, boys? What is good? It has been a while, mainly because price action has been dookie. We'll do a little bit of recaps. This was Monday. We had no sweep of liquidity, and then we just went up the whole day. So, not much I could really do there. And then if we look at yesterday, there was some insane decorrelation between indexes. ES was all the way up here, just kind of messing around. And then if we look at NASDAQ went and swept out lows right away. So crazy decorrelation between the indexes. Didn't really know what to do, I guess, for that. So I didn't take a trade. And so first trade I've taken this week is on Wednesday today. Um, If we look at news, this is what news is looking like. Monday we didn't have much. Tuesday we had a decent amount, but it did not do much. PMI didn't really do anything. And then today we had new home sales, which didn't really do anything either. But if we look, we can see that on NASDAQ, these were our draws. We had a decent amount of low resistance liquidity to the upside, and then a couple little draws to the downside, and then these high time frame draws on the upside and the downside. And then if we look at ES, we can see that I think I actually had this marked out a little wrong, which it shouldn't have. I think I grouped this as equal highs with this, but that is not equal highs because it did push above. But anyways, we had hourly highs up here, and then less low resistance liquidity to the upside. Um, and we'll get into more of what that price actually did. And then we had some high resistance liquidity to the downside, and then some low resistance draws right here. So right off of rip, pretty much, oops, actually let me lock that in there. There we go. So pretty much right off of rip, we went up and we swept out, huh, I I really thought these were equal highs, because I think if I look on the 15 minute, I think if I look on the 15 minute, huh. Oh, okay. So I see what I did. I went on the hourly, marked out these highs, and then I think that's what I marked out. Hmm, I don't know. But I was under the assumption that these were equal highs, so I guess we just had our hourly highs there. Anyways, sort of relative equal highs, not really, but kind of. Anyways, my bias was, sweep out this liquidity, push higher, and target the low resistance liquidity on NASDAQ, and then also on ES as well. But right off of rip, we immediately swept out these highs, and we got super close, making relative-ish highs here. And then we can see on NASDAQ, we didn't come up as high, but we still swept out this low resistance liquidity. So both indexes moved down as a result of that, taking out this low resistance liquidity, and then we kind of just did nothing after that. I was expecting, a little bit of movement down here and then a retracement, or not a retracement, but then a push up, and it kind of looked like that more on ES, hence why I took the trade that I did. And we'll get into that. But I was pretty much just waiting on the higher time frames. I was on the 5 minute, just mainly because once we take out some of the high or some of the liquidity above, and then we go down and take out the bottom liquidity, the only trades I'm really looking for are more of like higher time frame trades. Just not going to be looking at like the 1 minute stuff like that. So if we look, we did get two bullish candles up, and then we get a 5 minute bullish retrace, and then a 5 minute candle up. And then this is kind of where I entered, was off of this confirmation here of 1 minute candles. I actually got a lower, or I entered on this down candle, and I entered about here. And we actually got a pretty good fill. I mean, when compared to these, we could have had a fill up here, which wouldn't have been as favorable, but I guess I kind of just got a little lucky on that one. And the main reasons why I took this trade was based off of this SMT, and then obviously the 5 minute candles movement, and then the draws here, here, and then these higher time frame draws up here on both indexes. We have relative equal highs on Nasdaq, but Nasdaq was the leading or the lagging index in this SMT. So based on what the reason why I took the trade was this 1 minute SMT right here. It's a bullish SMT, and then we can see that we make another bullish SMT here, and then a higher time frame bullish SMT here. So when we were moving out of this, I was pretty confident in our ability to at least go up and snag these highs, but that ultimately did not play out. We ended up making a bearish SMT off of these highs, and that hence is the reason why we moved down. And overall, I feel like that does kind of just happen sometimes, is when with these later day trades, it doesn't really care where liquidity is. Price just kind of goes wherever I feel. Because there was not a whole lot to the downside. There was still a decent amount. I guess we did seek out these just hour or daily lows, previous day lows, sorry, and that was mainly the draw. But I presume at some time, will come up and pop up over these lows. But overall, that was the trade that I took. I'm very proud of it. I ended up moving my stops break even once we got about here, and good thing I did because we obviously went straight to the downside. And this is overall low risk trade mainly because it was later in the day, so I only think I had, oops, I think my stop loss here was set at about like $100. So at one point in time, we were floating about like 110, 120 in profit, but I didn't want to take partials just because, you know what I mean? Because I was pretty confident that we were going to come out and take these highs out, but obviously that didn't play out. But yeah, overall, we should see probably some bearish movement down, mainly because we were we are pretty extended up on the higher time frames, and we had bearish news yesterday with Powell speaking. Um, so yeah, overall bias for probably the next week or so will favor bearish, but obviously I'm not going to lock that in at all. So yeah, trade today was good. I'm very proud of it, honestly. And we're making this a little late just because my roommate was sleeping pretty much the whole time that I was trading, and then I had to go to class at 11. So I just didn't want to have him shirtless in the back. So that's pretty much why. But yeah, if you made it this far, I appreciate you and I love you, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. Amen.